Hey, yo, what's up? This is Cycle Marcello Currents, reign back up in this anti-Illuminati all day and anti-America all day. So, this video right here is going to be about basically, it doesn't take everybody. It just takes enough people to start problems. It don't take everybody. It just takes enough people to bring nationwide judgment. Okay? Let me explain something about people who have this philosophy of where we're innocent, we had nothing to do with it. Unfortunately, part of being in the real world, you're going to be part of other men's mistakes. That's a 7. Hey, we've been a part of America's mistakes from the very beginning. Have we not? Slavery, we was part of that mistake. Drugs brought into the country and the government acting like they don't know how it got here, we're part of that mistake. Bad politicians, Donald Trump, we're part of that mistake. Joe Biden, we're part of that mistake. It goes on and on. Men throughout history has always been a part of other men's mistakes. And it's no different now. You are a part of America's mistakes. That's a 7. Al, need I say more? Need I say more? I can stop the video right here. You all are a part of America's mistakes. And you ignore that you've been a part of America's mistakes. You've been a part of America's mistakes from the very conception of this country. And all of a sudden now you don't want to be a part of America's mistakes. Well, you need to wake up and pay attention. You have been a part of America's mistakes from the very beginning of the history of what you call America, or what you call the United States of America. You have been a part of those mistakes, the mistakes that they made, the mistakes of this whole country from the very beginning. See, the problem was they started out with slavery from the beginning. It's one thing to have, I'm not agreeing with slavery, but it's one thing to start your country with slavery. That's a 7, Al. You started your country with slavery. I don't think that's a good omen. That's not a good omen. You started your country with slavery. Really? And you expect those roots, if you will, that's the foundation, to not bring curses and misfortune on you. Oh, you thought enough time went by, it's all over. Well, karma stretches long. Karma has long arms and long legs to catch up with you. That's a 7. See, what you should have did is show respect. Instead of trying to talk about, I don't care what you talk about. Respect is more important than anything. I don't care what else you talk about. Is the person nice? I don't care about nice. I care about safety and respect. Is anybody harmed out here? Anybody physically harmed? Anybody physically harmed by me? Okay then. Not one person, right? Not one person. But you acting like I'm the most world dangerous person in the world. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's white man, white races or Americans trying to win and you can't win. Ain't nobody a danger to the public but you. You out here riding around like John Wayne with 44 states marrying your children. Okay? That's for the National Guard. National Guard, you're guarding a country that's marrying children. I don't care how cute you are as a woman. I don't care how masculine you are as a man. If you are in the National Guard and you're serving America, you are serving a country that has 44 states with child marriage. You have become part of their mistakes. And the only way that you can alienate from it is to deny your nationality. I have already denied my nationality. I do not consider myself quote unquote American. Okay? If Hey, you got to take the good with the bad in any situation. Okay? If you are, let's for example, if you're married to a person, let's just say a woman that's a pedophile, right? Or let's cover both audiences. A man, you're married to a man that's a pedophile for women. Okay, you can't say, well, I don't take that part. I don't take that part. I just love her or him for who they are in the other parts, but I don't take that part. This part is so important concerning your country, marrying children. You have to either agree with them and be with them, or depart from them. That's the only thing you can do. You cannot sit up and say, well, I don't take the part of America marrying children in 44 states. That's not the part I take. That's just no different than somebody married to a pedophile. And you talking about, I don't take that part. That's a 7. That's a 7. Anybody can do that. You can have a whole relationship with a human being knowing that they've been sexing children as a fully grown adult. It's too big of an elephant in the room for you to say that you're not a part of that. Unfortunately, the issue is so huge that you have to make a decision whether you're a part of America or not. You can still work here, you can still get your living, you can still do what you got to do. Okay? That's how you know I'm a realist. I'm in my right mind. You got to work. You got to do certain things. You got to take from this system that, hey, they in debt to you. That's how I see it. But make no mistake about it. I'm gonna say it like a politician say. Make no mistake about it. You have been a part of America's mistakes from the very beginning with slavery. You came into mistakes. And now you want to get to this part of American history and say, well, we wasn't part of that. You've been accepting being a part of America's mistakes. You've been accepting it. Everything they do, you've been accepting it. You've been accepting what comes with the mistakes that they make. Now all of a sudden you want to try to press up on people like me. No, it's not going to happen. You've been accepting America's mistakes. 9/11, they still can't tell you why Trade Center 7 failed, can they? That's a 7. We win. You see how big that building is? How can fires with that big building? You see how gigantic the building is? A fire is not going to make the whole thing fall down. Any fool know that. And it wasn't even burning that long. You know how long a building would have to burn like that to fall in a pancake print down in seconds? It would corrode. It would take time. I'm not even a person that's an expert on buildings, but I have lived long enough to see things happen in the world. And a building that big, it would take even maybe days for it to burn down, like fall down like that. How does it fall down like that in seconds? And guess what? Many Americans don't even know there was a Trade Center 7. Now, New Yorkers might know, but you would be surprised, New Yorkers, of all the Americans all across the country that don't even know there was a Trade Center 7 that fell that day. They wasn't covering it. They did not cover it with the footage, or let's put it like this. From what I've seen, they did not inform people of this third building that fell. All they show you is the Twin Towers all the time, Right or wrong? Right or wrong? They should be showing you 3 towers, whether people was in Trade Center 7 or not. Well, it was an attack. The building fell. But you are only aware of 2 buildings, right? You're only aware of 2 buildings. And where they made the mistake on 9/11, with somebody here, some Americans, all I need to know is they're Americans. I don't care who it is. They made the mistake of Trade Center 7. They had no plane to hit it. No plane hit Trade Center 7. You got Trade Center 1 and 2 and 7. That's the 2 buildings. There are actual numbers, okay? There are actual numbers to the trade centers. Trade Center 1 fell. Trade Center 2 fell. Trade Center 7 fell without a plane hitting it in hours time for fires on floors. Have you seen all how big this building is? If I light a piece of paper and it's on fire inside a building like that, it's not going to fall down. I'm sorry to tell you. In fact, if I take gasoline and put it on the whole floor on that building, Trade Center 7, it still wouldn't have failed like that. It's built to withstand fires. That's a 7. And that's what you need to know. First of all, it's built to withstand fires. You think they just built it without any kind of fireproof? The people that built it did not consider fires. This is what they ain't talking to you about. So when they built the building, no one considered it could be inflamed. So there was already fireproof. So how big could this building be? How bad could this fire be to where it burns down the whole building, no plane hits it, and the building was built most likely fireproof? Well, I don't know people that's building buildings around these times, and they don't consider fires. So it should have been able to withstand any little fires that was there. That's a 7. Which means in order for that story to be true, it would have to be a fire so big that it usurped over the fireproof on the building. That's a 7. The building had to be prepared for a fire. It's built in modern times. It had to be fireproof to some degree. Degrees mean you don't understand. But if it's built in modern times, it had to have fireproof, which would have stopped these mediocre fires that were ablaze in the building. So what made the fire that bad when no plane hit it? You can't explain it, can you? You cannot intelligently explain that to me, can you? Okay, so I explained to you something that happened right here in New York City that your American community did. See, they wanted to throw you off at the top of the century, at the top of the millennium. They had to have something that would be psychological, also in effect, to completely daze you and throw you off as you go into a new century. That's a 7. So 9/11 came 2001, the new millennium. Everybody got these ideas of what's going to happen and what's not going to happen and all these different things. And then boom, you have this huge national distraction, psychological distraction that distracts you from life and creativity and all the things and health, all of that. That's what that was all designed to do, is to distract you from the new century and the possibilities of the new century as far as you as a community, not as a government, as a community. And therefore you were controlled by fear. You didn't know what the terrorists was going to do. So these 2 buildings exploding. And a lot of people, maybe not you, but a lot of people were shell shocked. A lot of people wasn't even going outside. A lot of people wasn't even going outside. You have always been a part of America's mistakes. And right now, it's no different of a time. It's no different of an era. You are still under the era of suffering for what America has done. Okay, let's look at this. COVID-19, that's the latest thing going on, right? It's documented that Donald Trump was investigated. You're not listening now. Investigated. This is not conspiracy theory. Donald Trump was investigated, right? This is a place in time or an occurrence that many politicians don't talk about. He literally was investigated for how he handled COVID in the beginning. Go look it up. He was investigated. And they had a 64-page report. Look up either 46-page report or 64-page report. It was one or the other. I think it was a 64-page report. However, it was at minimum, it was 46 pages that reported that Donald Trump intentionally had a slow response to COVID for political points. That's a 7. I didn't say it, they said it. They investigated him and found out that he had an intentional slow response to COVID in order to get reelected. And you out here trying to be cool. How far has cool got you? You got 44 states marrying children and you cool? You think you're cooler than me? Okay. Good luck with that. You cooler than me. You got 44 states screwing your children. It's a new day. It's a new day. And unfortunately, many of you are not a part of it. Well, to be a part of it, you got to depart. You got to depart from America to be part of this. You're not going to get anywhere further with America. I'm telling you right now. And see, prophets always are ahead of everybody else. You'll be like, I guarantee you, if the world tarries, if God allows the world to tarry, you'll be like this within 5 years. You'll be just like me. But unfortunately, who knows what they would have done in 5 years? Who knows what would have happened? Who knows what would have taken place? In which means you would be a part of more mistakes of America and you won't be free. What you have to understand, this is the golden opportunity to let this racist country fall on its face. Many of you, let's just say COVID and all this goes away. Then they go back to racism, all the other stuff, 20 years from now, right? They got COVID out the way, everything. You think they're going to change racism? You think they're going to change all this stuff that goes on in your country? Has it changed? Then as a person that don't practice insanity, then you should realize it ain't going to go away. And you know what you're going to be doing? Talking about, oh, we should have let America fall when it was falling. We should have let them perish from COVID-19. We should have let them perish from all the things that from 44 states marrying children. We should have listened to that young man, and we should have let these people fall on their face. Because going into the future ain't going to be nice for you. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. The future is not bright for this country. That's a 7. Ow. Oh, you think the future is bright for these crazy people? Show me a sign of them being, the future being bright for this country. Show me. Show me. Oh, that's all you got to do. And you can't show me. You know why you can't show me? Because there's so much darkness. Ain't nobody got hope for this country. And that goes across all boundaries of ethnicities. No one has hope in this country. Who does? You don't even have a good, promising Democrat candidate or senator that can counter all the stuff that the Republicans are doing. So it looks like you ain't got nothing but Republican presidency ahead. Well, what Democrat you got? Joe Biden is not going to get another term. I'm sorry to tell you. He is not going to get another term. So who you got after that? You ain't got nothing but these crazy Republicans waiting to get back in the White House and waiting to go crazy on you. They gonna go crazy on you. Crazy on you. You are part of America's mistakes. So people will say, well, we didn't do it. You never did it. Did you ever make the mistakes that your government made? Did you ever make mistakes that your community made? So you've never been a part of the mistakes, but yet you suffered. You suffered as a result of the mistakes that your government and community made. Whether it be the mass shooters, the politicians, you know, all the gangbanging, all the stuff going on, all the killing. You're suffering as a result of America's mistakes. Whether it be the secret society, gang stalking people. Whether it be, what is the other one? Yeah. What the other thing they do? All these politics and lies they pass around. You're part of those mistakes. Hey, we're all grown people here. If you join that and join that cause, you can't say, "Oh, well, we wasn't trying to do what they were doing. We were just trying to feed our families. Unfortunately, you took their money." Oh, you don't think I know you took their money, don't you? I know what you did. You took some of the money from these secret societies to go around gang stalking people and to play with people. Who could be this motivated without money? That's a 7. Out. You're too motivated. It got to be money involved. Therefore, you will suffer from taking because you took the money. That's what cursed you right there. Soon as you took that money, knowing well what you was doing, you're grown. You should know who you're playing with. You should know why you're playing with that person. You didn't know what was going on. You were just taking money. But it's no excuse. You're grown. We're all grown people after 18. You had the power to say yay or nay. Okay? You went after the money. You took it up. You sold your soul for peanuts. Most of you did out here. All this gang stalking you did. So see, you just allow stuff to go on for so long and now you want to cry about it when it's getting out of control. That's what it really is. Well, it ain't everybody. It ain't never been everybody. That's the dumbest statement I ever heard in my life. When will it be everybody? You think God is going to wait? You know how many people are in America? Some of y'all don't even know how many people in America. It's 333 million people here. 333 million plus people here. You think God is going to wait till it's 333 million people doing something wrong before he brings judgment on your country? That's a 7. Al. Don't be an idiot. Do you think God is going to wait for 333 million people to do something wrong or do the same evil before he brings judgment? You're not paying attention to what people are actually doing and the magnitude and what it takes for God's judgment to come. The amount of people that it takes for God's judgment to come. It don't take everybody. I'm telling you that. It don't take everybody for God to strike at your country. That's why you have to be aware of what's going on in your country. If you're not aware, you're going to be taken talking about it wasn't us. That's for all you people that come over here from different countries. You need to be aware of all that's going on. Because you're going to be sitting back with your family talking about, oh, we ain't ready to go. We was going to build a family. We was going to do this. Bro, you ain't even paying attention. You don't even know the wars that's going on talking about we going to build a family. You building a family under a country where the sky's falling at. Talking about we going to build a family. Coming over here from a different country talking about we going to build a family. Well, I hope you know what wars you're coming into. You ain't coming into no squeaky clean situation. That's a 7. For all you people that's coming over here from different countries, let me tell you something. It's wars already going on right now. If I were you, I wouldn't even come to America. Man, you better off anywhere else. When all this stuff is about to be controlled, you are better off in wherever you came from. This is you. Look, you need to know all the wars that's going on around you. So you don't be sitting up here talking, you another one. You be sitting up here talking about, well, it wasn't us. We mind our business. So what? You're in a place of wars. You're in a place of conflicts and destruction, and you don't know no better. You think that don't affect your life. All right, keep living. Keep living, big baby. You're gonna be a victim to just being you're gonna be a victim to America's mistakes. You're gonna be a victim to being naive of America's mistakes. Sitting up talking about you're gonna build a family. You ain't about to build nothing. I'm sorry to tell you. That's why I told people, stop having children. You need to just stop even having children. If you do have one, you're in love with somebody, but don't be going around planning a family of 3 and 5, please. You don't even know what this country is what's about to happen. That's what I'm saying. And you sitting up here talking about I'm gonna build a family. And you got wars of all kinds all around you. You got COVID-19 everywhere all around you. You got a president that intentionally had a slow response to it to gain political points, is what the investigators said. Donald Trump, they concluded that Donald Trump had an intentional slow response to COVID for political points, which means he put you in harm's way as a nation to get reelected. That's why you're suffering now as a result of another American's mistake. Well, that's a mistake. You put people in harm's way for political points. This is documented, guys. This is not my opinion. This is not my opinion. This is documented. Donald Trump had an intentional slow response to COVID. I didn't make this up. He had an intentional slow response to COVID. You know what that does? Speaking as far as the wise of the spiritual realm wise, spiritual world wise, you know what that does? As far as the spiritual world, you're placed under a evil blanket of haze where somebody got you in this situation. It's an evil that's in the air all the time because he created that situation for you. So you're in the stench of evil in the spiritual world because this man intentionally put you in harm's way. I think he, if he was in another country, they would kill him. Well, if the Iraq people or Iranians found out that you intentionally put their nation in harm's way so you could get reelected, you would be a dead man. I don't find that cute. I don't find it sassy either. It's not sassy and it's not cute. It's a death sentence. And in reality, your American community is too docile for the future. That's a 7. You're too docile. You will not kill who needs to be killed. Other countries have no problem with it. God's word has no problem with it for all the Christians. You go look in the Bible. There were commandments to put some people to death. It was a commandment. And your country has become so fairy tale like and Disney World like and Mickey Mouse like that you won't even kill who needs to be killed, but you still killing anyway. Part of running a country, unfortunately, sometimes some people have to die. Some villains have to die. People like Donald Trump in the right country, he would be dead. That ain't a death threat. That's a reality. I'm telling you a reality. He would be a dead man. Let's put it like this. You're in harm's way right now because of Donald Trump's mistakes. And so you don't think nothing's going to come back on a country that and he's done that to you? He's done that to the country. You don't think nothing going to come back on you? And you can sit up and say, well, we ain't have nothing to do with that. That's Donald Trump's problem. But you needed to be diligent about who you put in office. I could tell you I could show you like that. You put the wrong man in office. You're held responsible that way. If at a minimum, you are suffering as a result of putting that man in office. Ain't nobody put no gun in your head to make him. He ain't put no gun in your head to make him president. That man would have went on. That man would have went on about his business. Y'all put him in there, and then you up there complaining. How you gonna complain when you put him in there? You are suffering as a result of Donald Trump's mistakes, and therefore it's another testament of what I'm telling you. You know, you can't you get into this. You're suffering as a result of America's mistakes, and you want to get to this point and say, "Oh well, you know, it wasn't us. We ain't had nothing to do with that." But you're here, and in the land where he is at, destruction is coming for him. That's a 7. Oh, okay. And unfortunately, you're part of that destruction. And you can sit up and say, well, we don't deserve it. Unfortunately, it's just another chapter of you suffering for an American's mistake. Okay? So please stop talking about, oh, well, we wasn't part of that. You ain't never been part of this. Especially if